Hi guys, Labour really need to work on their communications. So the latest headache for the party isn't an actual policy, because most people agree with it. It's how they're selling it in the media. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the working people narrative. So Labour said before the general election that they wouldn't increase taxes on working people. This obviously was in contrast with employers. Now they've fallen into a trap of having to explain the difference between working people from a tax point of view to working people from how the general public understand the term colloquially. Here the Treasury Minister James Murray was asked to, and it all became really embarrassing for all involved. Have a listen.
You promised not to put taxes up on working people. Who are working people?
Well, as the Chancellor has said, working people are people who go out to work for their income. And we were very clear.
Do landlords work?
Well, we were very clear in the election in terms of our manifesto promises that we wanted to protect working people. And by that,
do landlords work?
Well, we're talking about where people get their income from. And our priority in the manifesto, and it's a manifesto commitment that we're keeping, is to make sure that we protect working people in terms of not raising any of the rates of income tax, national insurance, VAT, making sure that that promise is kept to protect working people in what is otherwise
do landlords work?
It's going to be a difficult
Mr. Murray.
budget. We're talking about where people get their income from. And
well,
working people,
I'm talking about a simple question. Do landlords work? I think I've asked you 5 times now. Do they work?
Well, we're talking about where people get their income from. And people, if they go out to work and they get their income from work, that is where we want to make sure that we protect them.
So what you're saying, just to be clear, I'm not trying to score points. I'm just trying to get clarity. You're saying that people who earn their money from owning a house or owning shares or selling a business, by your definition, they are not working people.
Well, look, I'm not going to get into too many hypotheticals here, Nick, but what I'm very clear about is our commitment in the manifesto around working people. And that's why we pointed directly to the rates of income tax, to national insurance, to VAT. And beyond that, the Chancellor will set out the full package at the budget next week.
It's like listening to the Tories once again. I'm sorry, I have to say that. It's like listening to the Tories go round and round in circles, refusing to answer a question. Look, he could have easily said, what we define as working people are people who pay national insurance. So if you don't pay national insurance on what you earn, you're not defined as a working person under this tax system. So he could easily say, look, generally, do landlords work? Yes, we can say that they work. We can agree or disagree whether that's actually work. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about taxable income. So if it's about national insurance, he could push the question back onto Nick Robinson and say, look, landlords don't pay national insurance on their income. So we're not going to, they're not defined as working people under this definition. Now, do some of them work? Yes, some of them work. Do some of them not work? Some of them don't work. But under our definition, it's about national insurance. That's what he could have said. Why didn't he say that? I don't understand. What it does is these clips go viral and it shows Labour ministers to be pretty much like Tory ministers, refusing to answer questions. He's looking down all the time, looking at, okay, stick to the script. This is not the way you should do an interview. Because you're trying to present yourself as different to the previous government. Look the person in the eye, look the camera in the eye and say, look, this is what the definition we're using. People who pay national insurance. If you're earning money through shares, you're not paying national insurance on that. So we're not talking about those people. We're talking about people who go out and work, earn a living, and they pay national insurance as employees. Employers don't do that, so they are in a different situation. That's what he should be saying. I really don't understand why he's not doing that. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.